Good evening, everybody. It's 7 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order. I don't know if there's anybody who wants to adopt the agenda. If we don't, a small change tonight, Mr. Sear will. Thank you. I know it's not the normal thing to add an item at the council meeting, but with your permission, I'd like to add item in new office at a letter to public highways. So that's at 12.4. Proposed by Councillor Hill, seconded by Councillor DeVoe. All those in favor? Against? Motion carried. That brings us to number 3. Do you have any declarations for conflict of interest this evening? If not, we will go number 4, presentation by the Society of the Vieille Maison with Adrien Como and Nicole Potier. Thank you. To have us tonight this evening, we appreciate to be with you. It's been a long time since I've seen you, almost too long. So my name is Adrien Comon, president of the Association for the Vieille Maison of Meteghan, and with me I have Nicole Potier, who is our treasurer, and we're here to present you something that we just received for La Vieille Maison. Before I do this, I'd like to sincerely thank you, council, and everybody here to accept to buy a painting of the Vieille Maison. The deportation, so that to make donations to our project. We'd like to thank you also for all the work that you have done in the last 20 years, for the past 20 years of the almost. Sorry it took us 20 years to get here, but we're here now. First out, we'd like to show you a video that will be part of our site, when we'll be on the site when people will vote for our project. It's a video. Everybody put their 2 cents to make this video. And Adrien, this will be on the website with the explanation of our project. So when people go and vote for this project, they will see this video. The beau sauvetage in English is the next great save. That's the French version. There will also be an English version on our site. To present you of the next great save. It's an initiative of National Trust for Canada. It is the 2nd year that they're doing this. What they do, you can present your candidacy to become a candidate, and there's a people from National Trust and Ecclesiastical Insurance who decide which projects, 10 projects are chosen. So their mission is to save some historical sites throughout Canada. Those that has the most votes across the Canada will win $50,000. Everybody can vote every day, 1 vote per day, with your email address. This will be for about a month's time. You can vote every day. The group who gathers the most votes will win $50,000. There are not many conditions to what we do with the $50,000, but it's quite evident what we will be doing with it if we win. The vote starts on the 20th of January. We will send you details once we get them. And in the contest today, there are 10 groups. There are 4 from British Columbia, none Vancouver and Victoria, none from the big cities. There's 3 in Ontario, none from the Quebec, 2 from New Brunswick, 1 St. John and Grand Manan, and there's 1 from Michigan. So are the only one French Francophone and the only group in Nova Scotia. And there's nobody in Newfoundland and PEI. So, as you know, you probably already heard about this, that the house in 2002 was closed. It's a museum, Acadian Museum. It was built in 1958 by Adolphe Robichaud, who was living in Boston but was originally from Clare. Until 2002, there was a place where a lot of people met. I guess I'm too young to have been included then, but some of you maybe you had some school excursions there. And now we want to revive the aspect to have this museum in our midst to celebrate Acadia here in Clare. It is the house that is the best preserved house, old house preserved in Canada, and it's also the best to try to keep going with this $50,000. We could help a lot in building it up. So the money that we will be getting will help us to redo the roof, because as you see, the Acadian flag is nice, but it's only temporary, and when it's windy it doesn't stay there. So some of the windows are missing, so we're gonna have to replace the windows. And the house is although it is very old, it's in fairly good condition. There are articles that were left in there that people from the area had given to the museum. They are in fairly good condition too. They're either there or have been placed somewhere else. So we have access to these old artifacts. So why are we here this evening? It's just to have your support as councillors to help us in our vote. We hope that during the month, that every day, that you will go and vote for our project. It will be an intense project for voting, but we'd like you to be with us for this, and also share this in your networks and with people that you know, and we'll be around to answer your questions if you have any. It's a process that's a bit different from what we have done now. You have to log in and sign and do a confirmation every day. It's a bit of a hassle, but this can be done. So I think because we would like you to put this in a sign in Sonyville, put it on your Facebook pages, social media pages. We'd have projects of people voting, and anything else that you can do to give us your support. It would be appreciated. So we're here to answer your questions if you have any this evening. Thank you for your presentation. No doubt that you have done a great work for the community, and it's going well ahead. I don't know if there are any questions, Councillor Como? When will the vote start? On January 20th. We can send you this information by email. I can send it to Amy and she'll give it to you. It's on Friday and it ends on it says from the 20th of January to the 20th of February. And when I say you can vote, it means each vote will be linked to an email. So if you have 3 or 4 email, you can vote more than once. And also, we know that this doesn't have to be just from Canada. If you have friends in the States or any place else or relatives, if they're registered with an email address, they have a right to vote. So I think I answered this question. Any other questions, comments? Councillor DeVoe. Thank you. I really am glad you're doing this. It is very nice and it's nice work. It's not easy to find money to do anything these days, but I hope that it will go well. One question I had is for the windows. Are the windows going to change? Will they be like old style windows or new windows? We'll try to find something to match the style of the old ones. If we find a place that the windows fit some building that would be taken down, but there's people see there will be no vinyl, and the roof will be made with cedar shingles. With the money we can do these things. Are there any other questions or comments? It will be sad a bit to see the Acadian flag from the roof disappear, but I think we might put another flag in the summer. It's nice. I don't want, if you bring all the information to Amy, then councillors can get this information from Amy and we'll get ready to vote to try to get you to win. Thank you for your presentation. That brings us to number 5, adoption of minutes. 5.1, the December 21st regular council meeting. Do you have any errors or omissions from this minutes? It's proposed by Councillor DeVoe and seconded by Councillor Hill. All those in favor? Motion carried. 5.2, the council in committee meeting on January 4th. Do you have any errors or omissions in this one? If not, somebody want to propose? Proposed by Councillor Gada, seconded by Conseillère Como. All those in favor? Against, motion carried. Number 6, business arising from previous council meetings. We have nothing there. Number 7, the warden's activity report. I have some for 2 months because I missed the last meeting, but it's just on one page, so it's not too bad. On November 20th, I went to a meeting of the council administration of the villa. It was just a regular meeting of the villa. On the November 24th, I went to the ceremony to the Christmas tree lighting up on Joseph Dugas place. There was hot chocolate and lights. It was a nice evening. On November 25th, I went to a meeting with people from the government province to discuss our housing strategy. It was they are going to bring some numbers on the housing initiative at the provincial government. On December 1st, I went to saw the new villa. The opening is predicted to be at the end of May this 2023. So on December 3rd, I went to the lighting of the Christmas tree at the Veterans Center. It was nice to see Santa Claus, who was quite excited to see us. On December 4th, I went to the first walk of in the Petit Bois in memory of Joey Saunier. It was well lighted and was really a nice meeting, and nice to see the people who gathered. On December 5th, I went to a public consultation on the health initiatives of the province. So it was to allow people to give their ideas about what should be done to ameliorate our health system in Nova Scotia. On December 11th, I went to a skating community with Councillor Yerkomo was there skating with Santa Claus. And on December 14th, I went to a meeting of the administration of the CDENE. We're still working to try to find a director general there, which keeps us quite busy, but I think we're close to finding somebody for that post. On December 28th, I went to a December supper for the students in medicine. There were a couple of students from the area who were there. It's nice to see that they are working very hard, but they're quite advanced in what they're doing. And on January 17th, I went to a meeting of the administration of the villa, and that is my report this evening. Do you have any questions or comments? If not, we go to number official statements from members of council. Is there anybody who have an official presentation this evening? No? And then we go to number 9, correspondence. 9.1, there's a letter from Shelley Bent-James, Executive Director, Service Delivery of the Nova Scotia Department of Community Services.
Thank you for your letter of November 23rd, 2022 to the Honourable Carla McFarland, Minister of Community Services, with respect to services in the Batagan sub-office. The Minister has requested that I respond to you on her behalf as Executive Director of Service Delivery. During the pandemic, services were paused in the Batagan sub-office. However, I am pleased to confirm that we have now returned to our normal operations. Workers are available to meet with clients in the Batagan sub-office as needed for scheduled appointments. And I want to assure you that we make all efforts to accommodate our French-speaking citizens by connecting them with our French-speaking workers as needed. Thank you again for your letter. Sincerely, Shelley Bent-James, Executive Director, Service Delivery.
So today I had a discussion with a woman who works, one of the director of that department. I'm trying to get a bit of clarification regarding what are the normal operations. One of the answers was a drop-off box that had been removed during pandemic, but he said that drop box is back where it should be, And also on the staffing item, there was a person there, a worker who worked every Tuesday to see clients. She was there all day, but since the new year began, we have somebody who comes by appointments, basements, so somebody can come in the office when the need is there. Apart from that, this is the only thing that she gave me, more than what what was in the letter. Councillor Como. What concerns me in the letter at two places.
To normal operations, PLSID, workers are available to meet with clients at the sub-office as needed for scheduled appointments. So the as needed, PLSID will make all efforts to accommodate French-speaking clients. PLSID back, connecting with our French-speaking workers as needed. So some course on
Concerns me, I know it's true, it's during the pandemic, it was hard, it was reasonable, but now in her letter, said they're back with normal operations, but concerns me because before the pandemic, there was a social worker that was working there regularly every month, Tuesday. So at the Metegan Bureau, not only when case needed, but every day. And another preoccupation is the concern I have is that the social worker who meets clients today doesn't speak French. That concerns me also for our community. So if we want to continue valorizing our language, I think we should have this service offered in French, not only with official meeting in urgent pieces, but we should have a person, French-speaking person should be there. So I wrote a short letter regarding this, but I'd like to have feedback of council. What do you think about this? I consulted certain people and social workers for their feedback also. In any case, this is what I have drafted, and I will.
We bring to your attention the following consideration. Our request is to have the provincial government maintain open the provincial office in Metegan. Secondly, that the staff be able to serve the local public in French. We remind you that the Clare district is predominantly Acadian and that we are sparing no effort to promote the French language and culture. The municipality of Clare is the only municipality in the province of Nova Scotia that conducts business and offers services in both languages. As such, the University St. Anne is a French institution with French-speaking staff and students, plus students who seek immersion in French language in a French environment. We feel strongly that the province offering positive and active services in French by its agencies and departments would enhance our efforts to protect and develop one of our great assets, the French language in our community. In our Acadian community, this need is present at all time. This is very different than offering French services on demand only. Like, so
this is my personal opinion, but I think we should reply to this letter to let them know that we want to have French services in our community. When she describes as needed, there's a lot of people who will not call a social worker to come here. So I do not think it services back to normal operation. That's my opinion. Anybody else has questions or comments on this letter or on the letter that Brian wrote, Councillor DeVoe? Thank you. I agree with Councillor Como. The letter that we had sent, if I remember well, they were asking that we wanted it as it was before, but this is, the letter does not reflect what our wishes were. Is there anybody else who has question? Councillor Como? Another point I'd like to bring out is if we don't have an answer, I spoke to Stefan Sier, maybe we can ask for another network, other people to support us with our demands, like the Société Acadienne, for instance. I don't know if council is, Councillor Godda, it's just in my experience, do not like to just, they like to walking, and they know that one day they can go in on that particular day, and have somebody French there is important. There's no doubt the easiest we can make it for everybody in Clare, the more they will use this service, and I think it's a very necessary service in our community. And I don't know if council agrees with Brian's letter. If you want Brian to give this letter to Amy, and then we will send it to Sally Benja. I will, so with copies to Colton LeBlanc and the other people mentioned, then maybe we can send a copy also to the Société Acadienne to build up a partnership with them. So I think that's a good idea, if you agree with this. Do we need a motion for this? Brian, do you want to make a motion to reply to the correspondence letter? It would be another official letter. I would like to propose that we reply to the letter that she sent us from Shelley Benz, and send this also to the Director of Social Services, proposed by Councillor Como and seconded by Councillor Potier. All those in favour? Motion carried. It will be easy for Amy, this one. Now, if there's nothing else, under 9.110, the Chief Administrator's report, Stefan Sier. I will just do this.
On the internet file, Eel Lake was completed last week. That's one of the last few remaining areas that have been problematic in terms of finalizing the network. So yes, that was completed last week, and customer connections have started. I think started immediately once it was complete, so they've been connecting people since last week, and it's going very well. Cottage Lane is another problematic area. It's still at the make-ready stage at this point, so there's really no update on that one since last month. The same can be said for Victor Lake. The issue with Victor Lake was one of easements and old poles, and so once those issues were finally resolved, as you'll recall in my report from last month, one of the neighbors was disputing the property lines as identified by Nova Scotia Power, which means that Nova Scotia Power has had to go ahead and find a surveyor to survey the lots. So that is basically slowing down any progress from mainland anyway in that area until that work is done and the parcels are confirmed. Mainland can't do any work, so it's basically they're idling there for now. Lake Dowsett, Springvale area. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. The remaining section of the Norwood Road off the Dottermore Road is being finished tomorrow. So that's another section of our network that we can take off. Lake Dowsett in the Springvale area, the splicing should be complete this week, so that area is progressing as well. So right now, the two problematic areas I'd say that are remaining is Cottage Lane and Victor Lake. So hopefully, within the next month or two, we will see some significant progress on those two areas. At this point, the fiber network is passing in front of some 4,900 homes and businesses. So that's more than we had originally planned when we first started this project nearly 4 years ago now. And speaking to Mainland yesterday, they have over 1,000 active subscribers to date, and that number is growing, so that's a good thing. In terms of our investments in this project, our last municipal disbursement is scheduled for March 2023. So in a couple of months from now, that amount will be $100,000, and that will essentially top up our contribution to this project, bringing our total investment to $2.45 million. So obviously a significant project for the municipality. Pour ce qui est du centre de santé Clare,
The health center, our discussions with the province are going ahead very slowly. We don't have a confirmation now for an actual number, but we hope that they will want to invest in the expansion of our center. You also saw that we are now building a road in the piece of land next to the zone, which is a service road, to allow us to bring trucks and construction material. And I think it would be a better plan to go there than use the actual the actual road that's there for the service of peoples who are involved at the center. Like also the asphalt was never built for the weight of these trucks. The service road will be there. Will be finished this week, but the works will only start in the month of March, but the service road will be done. We wanted to do it at the earliest possible date to be ready when this construction starts in March. For the Veterans Center, we discuss a bit more tonight at item 12.2. The Joseph Marie Dugas Center, our project there. Our applications for the permits are going ahead with the province. They are in contact with us, the Department of Natural Resources, and they assure us that they're progressing on this. There's no feedback from the ACOA for the concept paper that we submitted to them. We're discussing now with different provincial departments to try to find a financial program that would apply to this project. We're talking a project at approximately $2 million. Regarding the financing, we had proposed 50% federal, 25 provincial, and 25 municipal. Therefore, our provincial contribution would be $500,000. We have not found a program yet that we're discussing with different programs now, but we have not found one that will fit here. So what we're looking for now is, rather than do different programs, we're trying to find one program that would meet all our needs in a single shot. And the 25% of the municipality for $500,000 is already confirmed from the municipality. Our action plan for housing, we had come out with asked people if there was any interest regarding pieces of land in Havelock, Little Brook, and the elementary schools. We have not found any interest manifested. Now we're trying to talk with local developers to try to schedule meetings with them to discuss this more. With our needs, we have done a cheat sheet of these, bringing out different financing programs that would encourage such development. We hope this document will be presented in our discussion and might generate some interest from local people to get involved. The Metegan Sewer Extension, Sunset Road. There are not many changes for this project. Our last meeting in December, there's a meeting we discuss in closed session. On the sidewalks in Metighan, the project was approved. We're waiting for Nova Scotia Public Works for their approval of this before we can start the project. Public Works has to sign off so we're waiting for them regarding this project, regarding the design of the, we hope to launch a tender before the end of the month. If we want to start the construction this week, it has to move ahead because a lot of the contractors are already scheduling work for the year ahead, so we're a bit late in doing this. So we're trying to find the engineers and Public Works to carry this forward. For the transfer station, the work to repair the transfer station is still ongoing. It's long. Up to now, we have submitted over $700,000 in reclamations, and there will be more. The insurance has paid everything except the $18,000 amount that we are to receive later on. There's still work being done by Bulgarian Construction for the roof, and the bills will continue coming in until the project is finished. The boundary review, since the last report in December, I'm still waiting for the chief clerk of the UARB regarding the date to meet the municipality to revise the changes and evaluate the project. For Wentworth Park, I will make a presentation in February 1st to show you what we're doing. The last presentation that was done, this is simply me to show you how your recommendations have been incorporated in the design. Right now, we are buying equipment for it, and we're putting them in storage until later on we will bring out tensors for within the next few weeks. So we hope to start the work the spring of 2023. We prolonged the completion date. We do hope that everything will be finished at the latest in September of this year. Just a little follow-up on the discussion we had last month. The compressor and the cylinder upgrade for the Mr. Doucet from the fire, the compressor and the cylinder upgrades are scheduled to be taken this coming Friday. For Wichita finances, we're still in good situation. December 31st, we had recorded $10,126,479 in revenues versus $8,158,577 in expenses, for a surplus of $1,965,902. As of December 31st, we had the balance of $2,470,148 in our operating fund, $73,439 in our capital fund, and a total reserve balance of $3,662,208. The total balance can be broken down as follows: operating reserve $1,785,459, the capital reserve $998,641, the landfill closure reserve $341,609, and the gas tax reserve $536,499. So we are in very good standing, and that is my report. Thank you for your report. Any questions? Councillor Como. For the boundary review, the evaluation of the report will be presented to council. Will there be a session for the public? The UARB asked us inform us a date. Essentially, it's a hearing. We present a report, an informal report at the UARB, and that was, one is public. And if people want to talk at this, it is open to the public, but if they want to speak, they have to ask first of all. Last time we did it here in this building, but the UARB has the option to judge that it won't be necessary to have a public meeting based on the application. They are satisfied that they are ready to accept the results as they have been presented, but in my experience, it's all based on our other boundaries review. I think now we'll have a call soon with a date proposed for the hearing. Councillor Hill.
Hear that the internet project is coming to an end. I know it's a huge investment for the municipality, but I think the residents are very pleased with it. 2.45 million is a good chunk of money, but I think it was very well spent.
Are there more information on the project, internet project? There are people who have not been caught in our project. They have extended their credit to $1,000. If you have a address that can't be reached by mainland, you can apply on our website, and they will give you money. You can apply to have money to hook up with Starlink if mainland doesn't offer it. So this will catch up the few people that might not be able to hook up with mainland. If not, this brings us to number 11, committee reports, 11.1, building permit.
The construction report, at the end of December 2021, we had 223 permits issued with a value of construction of $45,831,000. And at the end of December 2022, we had 271 permits issued with a value of construction of $15,515,000. The whole entire year was kind of hard to compare because of that one large permit issued, so I think next year and last year is going to be a lot better comparison. But we still had a really good year.
Questions or comments on this report? It's nice to see that the hammers are not hung up yet. So 11.2, waste check, Councillor DeVoe. Thank you, Mr. Warden. We had a meeting in January 10th. We spoke again another time of somebody would like to, if there are two houses who would like to use the same organic green card, that it's encouraged. The only thing is that they would have to be certain that the two houses do it the right way. If somebody puts something that's not appropriate, then it will be blamed by the two households. So encourage strongly people to use one green card if you are neighbors, if it's possible. We have also spoke more in detail to remove. It's coming up with time in the next couple of years or maybe less that we will remove the dark bags. We will not allow these black bags to be used anymore, but we will have to be sure that the public will be informed why we're doing this, what is the reason we do this. So because public wants to know the reason we'd be doing this, so we'll have to keep them informed why we're doing this. We have also spoken again at another big expense. We buying 810 more green cards. We bought some not very long ago, but we're also buying another lot for the value of $67,000. So these are big expenses. So we'd like to ask the public to take care of their green cards, because the more we destroy them, the more we have to order new ones and the more money is involved. So it's big amounts of money. So these are the important things that we discussed at our last meeting. Thank you. Are there questions or comment on this report? Councillor Dusa. The problem with the green cards are destroyed. It's not the people bring them to the road. I think it's more the person who's passing in the road and throws them up in the road and snaps them on the back of the truck and puts them back on the bus. So I think we should maybe ask, send a bill to the people who pick up garbage. Certainly, that's true. We've seen how this is done, and it's not only in our area, it's everywhere, especially in the winter months, because the compost freezes in the green carts and they try to empty them, but they're frozen in the back. Well, we're telling them to keep it there and then wait for the next time until it melts. We contacted some companies who pick up this compost, so we're contacting them to make them aware of this. Questions or comments? So if somebody want to get closer to their neighbors, they can ask them to share a green card. If there's anything else, number 12, 12.1, a motion to name a municipal facility at 695 Highway 1, Comoville. As you know, before the holidays, we got 2 requests from community groups to find a name for the building at 795 Highway 1, which is known now as the Hub Culturel. We had one from La Société Madeleine Leblanc and the other one from La Béanvoie at the end of December and beginning of January. We evaluate these 2 requests. Both had their positive aspects, but after discussion, the council decided to accept that the municipal building by the Association of Madeleine Leblanc, it will be called l'Édifice Madeleine Leblanc. So at the meeting of January 4th, council made a motion to recommend to accept this name. So I would ask you if you agree with this to make a formal motion this evening. Does anybody has questions on this? Councillor DeVoe? Thank you. Before, during the time that we were discussing this before the group, Madeleine Leblanc, there was another group that approached me to ask for the same building, and I told them that I would sustain their request and that I would support them. So I'd just like to say, for these reasons, I will not support this motion. I would just say that this one, when the vote, I wanted to be recorded that I do not accept this motion. And any other questions or comments on this? If not, somebody, Conseiller Como? I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare accept the request put forward by l'Association Madeleine Leblanc to name the municipally owned building located at 795 Highway 1, Comoville, l'édifice Madeleine Leblanc. Proposed by Conseiller Como, seconded by Councillor Potier. Are there any discussion? Are you questioned for the question? All those in favor? Against? There is one vote, a majority vote, and the Councillor DeVoe wishes to record his vote officially. So this brings us to 12.2, motion to accept project management services for the Veteran Center. As you know, we've been working for a long time on this project. We have not received any official news to share with the public, but we are continuing to advance in our request with confidence. Our next stage is to hire somebody who is coordinator for this project, because this is a project that's quite complicated. So with this being said, we ask a tender to find a person for project management services, and the tender finished on the January 16th. We received 7 tenders. We evaluated those, and there was 2 that were interesting and contrary to our habitual practice, to try to take the one that's less expensive. But in this case, the recommendation of staff was not to go with the cheapest one. After we have evaluated this, we have eliminated 5, and we passed 2 tenders in very closely. So the recommendation now is the proposal from Grey Cardinal Management for 103,404 plus HST. It is a high amount, but it's a $3 million project. So the big difference or the advantage we saw in Grey Cardinal was not a question of price, but the date. The big difference was with their proposal, the project would be finished before the CMA 2024, the Congress, so which will allow us to use this building for our routine activities during our people would have access of for the building well before the Congress. The other tender was good, but we were looking at October, November before it would be completed. Grey Cardinal, we have had to work with them before. We know them well, they know the area, and we know the contractors and the local people who would work. So there was advantages for us to consider them, and in our we don't necessarily have to accept the lowest tender. What we're looking for and what we accept, where is the best value for the municipality. And if we can find this, the difference of price of $7,000, but what we get in return is, especially with the finish date that will be accelerated, which is our best value for the municipality and for the community. So if you agree with this, I will ask you a motion to accept the proposal of project management services. Any questions or comments on this proposal? This motion? Somebody want to make the motion? Councillor Hill?
I'm really glad to see this project moving forward, and I'm more than willing to make the motion. I move that the council for the municipality of the District of Clare accept the proposal from Grey Cardinal Management, Inc. in the amount of $103,400 plus HST for management services during the proposed revitalization of the Clare Veteran Center.
Proposé par Conseiller Hill, puis par
And seconded by Councillor DeVoe. Are you ready for the question? All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. This brings us to 12.3. It's a motion to approve a funding contribution for the Clare Columbus Club. Thank you. The Clare Columbus Club is doing a renovation project for their building, which is valued about $35,000. Their intention of the group is cultural and heritage to the province community assistance program for 75% of the project, which they will get about $26,000. The group is ready to put 6% of the project, which is $3,500. There was a 15% lacking, so we worked with the Ray and Flynn this is a request that we have used with success with this group 3 years ago. In that case, we were talking about a project worth $60,000, but our intention is to work hand in hand with them, and they call it to leverage the municipal council. We'll give them a contribution, and they will, if we give them 10,000, they will, at that past us, the 15% that was missing to complete the budget represents an amount of $5,250, and it will allow them to fund the rest of the financing elsewhere. So they're doing nice work in the community, and this building also used by different groups in the community. So the recommendation, the motion tonight, which we discussed at the beginning of this month, to approve a contribution of 15% regarding this project for a maximum of $5,250, which will be taken from municipalities' 23-24 grants to organizations budget. So we're asking for a formal proposal motion tonight. There are questions or comments on this? Is there somebody? Thank you. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare make a contribution of 15% up to a maximum of $5,250 towards the Clare Columbus Club's 2023 hall renovation project, and that these funds be taken from the municipality's 2023-24 grants to organizations budget. Proposed by Councillor DeVoe, seconded by Councillor Godet. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. That brings us to 12.4, which is a letter to the Department of Public Works, Nova Scotia. Councillor Potier had this. The Department of Public Works, they used to go in Clare to see where there were all the sidewalks, and they were going with a broom, and a lot of the sugar sand that was gathered on the roads during the winter. So it would be a desire for council to send a letter to, if they can still do this, because they have not done it in the past couple of years. So it would be nice if they would do it again, because there are, the Congress coming ahead. And if it's, we'd like to send a letter to Public Works. So it's good to know why it has not been done recently. Or Eric, you make the motion. I propose that the letter be sent to Public Works. So, seconded by Councillor Goda. Ready for the question? All those in favor? Against? Motion carried. That brings us to number 13. We have closed session, and one item is personnel matters, staff questions. And for people who are listening to us, our next meeting for our regular council will be on Wednesday, February 15, 2023. And